Hi everyone, Agnes here. I'm reading a little gem from Neville's Law and the Promise. Now, it's called The Creative Moment. Now, this nugget is short but powerful. He says, whenever we imagine things as they ought to be rather than as they seem to be, is the moment. For in that moment, the spiritual man's work is done, and all the great events of time start forth to mold a world in harmony with that moment's altered pattern. Now, I'm going to read that again because it's easy to get lost in Neville's words. Whenever we imagine things as they ought to be, rather than they seem to be. So if today you're going through something and something's in front of you and it's bothering you, such as someone's bugging you at work, your boss is unpleasant and disapproving, your current relationship is difficult, you're arguing or they're never around and you see the absence of them. You're looking at your bank account and it's gone into the minus, and the bank is sending you emails saying you don't have an overdraft, you need to top it up. If you are waking up and you've got a ongoing health condition or problem, and it's causing you pain and anguish or agony, this is being in the seeming it to be part, okay? But you've got to learn to switch over to how it ought to be. So the how it ought to be is that you are healthy, that your bank account is overflowing, that your relationship is wonderful and it's the best you've ever had, and you have a romantic, loving connection, and you have wonderful sex, and you also are enjoying your work and your colleagues and your boss and the industry you work in. So this is really important, is this moment where you shift from what is to how it ought to be, and you keep your focus there. But it's not just keeping your focus there mentally, it's getting to the place where you drop into the relief of how it ought to be, which is the end result that you desire. So he goes on to say, for in that moment the spiritual man's work is done. So as soon as you cross over from what you don't want, what's causing you anguish, to what you do want and is giving you relief, you've captured the moment, as Neville says. So, for in that moment the spiritual man's work is done, and all the great events of time start forth to mold a world of harmony. So basically what he's saying, then the great events, which is whatever it is that you desire and how you'd like it to be, it starts to come forth and it molds itself into a world of harmony, as in what you see on the outside starts to change because you've imagined a better result. You've risen up in the power of your imagination, but also the power of your focus and holding it there, you see. So the last bit, he says, all the great events of time start forth to mold a world in harmony with that moment's altered pattern. So the moment is where you stop doing that and you start doing this. So stick to this, stick to this, stick to this, and keep going back and forth. You will, because that's what happens being human. Drag yourself back, drag yourself back, drag yourself back. So it's a really wonderful thing to enjoy getting better at this skill. So this is in the chapter 14 in this particular book, this old copy that has got endless outlines and highlights, and it is on the chapter called The Creative Moment, and it is on page 123. Now, I'm going to put down below the Neville Nuggets playlist. I'm also going to put down below the Neville Goddard playlist, and I'm also going to be running a 12-week course going through this book thoroughly and looking at Neville deeply, and then applying it to whatever is going on in your life so that you can free yourself of the thing that's causing you ongoing disturbance. Okay, so details will be down below for all of that, and I will do a separate video YouTube to announce the course very shortly. So lots of love, everyone. Enjoy Neville, enjoy, and take it apart and apply it to what you've got going on. This is about you improving your focus, improving your discipline in your mind and your focus, so that you can then free yourself, so that the outside molds itself in harmony. So lots of love, everyone. And I'm going to go and enjoy this beautiful day and have a nice chai latte, ice one, not a hot one, a cold one. Lots of love.